Hey y'all, how's everyone doing today? It's Gigi. Come on in to my kitchen and let's cook another recipe together. I hope you're all doing good today. It is a rainy day in Georgia. It has been raining nonstop, pretty much all day. And it is 1 o'clock Tuesday. And it has been coming down ever since my husband left for work this morning at like 6:30. It was raining when he left. So it's just been a steady rain all day, which puts me in the mood, since I'm stuck inside anyhow, to do a little baking. Y'all know Thanksgiving's coming up and I've got some grandbabies that are going to be here, and I got to get some cookies baked, and I got to get Mr. Piggy full of cookies because they know what's inside Mr. Piggy. So I've got to make sure I've got some goodies in there. Today we're going to make some, y'all know last week I made butterscotch cookies. But this week I'm just going to make some old-fashioned chocolate chip cookies. Okay? So we're going to start with 2 room temperature sticks of butter. It's been sitting out at room temperature. And we're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup. And then a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. There won't be a thing healthy about these cookies, but they'll be delicious. So that was 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, and a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And we are going to cream this together, okay? So prepare yourself for a little bit of noise while we cream this. I will spare y'all the noise. I'll be right back. All right, we've got the butter and the sugar creamed together. And now to this, we're going to add, I have got some room temperature eggs that have been sitting out at room temperature. I put them in a little bit of warm water just to help bring them to room temperature a little bit quicker. But we're going to add 2 eggs, 1 at a time. Beat those into our creamy mixture, and then we'll add the second egg, okay? I'm also going to go ahead and add my vanilla to this. I'm going to add, let me look at my recipe and make sure I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla to this as well, okay? That always smells so good. And I know almost every time I use this, somebody will ask me where I get my vanilla. And this came from Mexico, a cruise that my in-laws went on and brought me back some vanilla. Okay, let's go ahead and add that second egg. That's skin don't want to, there we go. I was like, that skin wanted to hang on. All right. Want to get all that goodie off of there. And this is just how creamy it should be. Okay, we're gonna sit that over to the side, and we're gonna bring in our dry ingredients. And what I've done is I've already, and I'll tell you exactly how I did it, just for the sake of the video running too long. I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and all I did with my flour is I spooned it into my measuring cup like this. This is exactly 3 cups that's in here. And I just leveled it off, and I took just like a little case knife and measured it out. I didn't pack it in there. I just lightly spooned it in there, and then throw some of it out on the counter. So I've measured out 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And then to this, I'm gonna add, let's see if it's 2 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? 2 teaspoons of baking powder. The little lip on this lets you measure that. You just want to make sure you can get as accurate as you can when you're baking, okay? Just a little bit of that off. There we go. Okay. Now, normally I would put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but I didn't realize until I prepared for my recipe today that I had a stick of salted butter and a stick of unsalted butter. Okay, so I'm not going to add any salt simply because I used 1 stick of salted butter. Okay, all right, so we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now I spooned it in, and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And normally, like I said, I would add salt right here, but I'm not going to do that today. But we are going to take our little whisk, just make sure that we get that baking powder incorporated into that flour. Okay, so I'm going to bring the wet back over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 1/3 of this at a time into my mixture, just because the more you add, the thicker it gets. Our oven's preheated, and I've got 2 lined baking sheets over here with parchment paper ready for me to put these on. But I'm going to just put in about 1/3 of this at a time, and mix it like that, okay? So it won't be so hard to get it all combined. When you dump it all in there at one time, it just makes it a little bit harder to get that batter. And it just takes a little time. It all comes together. And I did. I know what y'all are probably thinking. I almost got my stand mixer out and brought it over here. I truly did. I truly did. All right. Let's add a little bit more of our flour. Don't want to lose any of that flour. Let's start off a little bit slower on that speed so we don't sling flour everywhere. Go a little bit easier with it. I couldn't decide if I was going to do chocolate chip or peanut butter. I may do some peanut butter too before everybody comes to the Thanksgiving, but my husband loves peanut butter cookies. Just listen, I'll get all this mixed up and I'll do this last third of flour and then I'll come right back. All right, we've got all of our wet and our dry ingredients mixed together and we've got a beautiful creamy cookie batter. So the only thing that we have left to do before we can put these in the pan and pop them in the oven is we've got to add our chocolate chips. 2 cups of semi-chocolate chips, and I'm using the Lily's brand, okay? Semi-sweet chocolate baking chips, okay? And we're just gonna fold those in until they're just well combined all the way through. We're just folding them in. So that everybody gets some chocolate love. Okay. All right. I'm just going to be using a scoop. And I'm just going to take a little bit of my olive oil spray and just spray the lightly spray it, just so to help to keep the dough from sticking to it, okay? And we're going to just use our scooper because that way we know that we can get them all pretty much close to the same size, which helps in them all baking equally. I'm gonna do about 3 across. Let's get that one over just a little bit. I'm giving them a little space to spread out. They sure do smell good, guys. I just like using this spring release. It just, and these are, just helps them to come out easier. And these are going to go in a 350-degree oven, somewhere between 13 to 15 minutes. And when they start to get a little brown, a little golden around the edges, I'll know that they're done. But I'm going to pop these in the oven, and so that you don't have to stand here and watch me. I'm going to pop these in the oven and work on my second sheet. And when these are getting ready to come out of the oven, I'll come back. Our cookies are done. They're fresh, warm, I had to let them rest for about 5 minutes so that I didn't tear them. In all my excitement to try one, had to let them rest for about 5 minutes, and now we can give them a try. But y'all know what happens when we bake cookies. We can't have cookies without milk, and we can't have milk and cookies without dunking them, okay? Let's give them a taste. I've got one, may hear it go off. I've got another batch over there on the countertop cooling, and then another batch in the oven. Let's give them a try, guys. Might be too big to go in my, yeah, I'm gonna have to break it in two. These are jumbo cookies. But I do want to show y'all. Look at those chocolate chips. Let's give it a try. My grandbaby's gonna be happy. My husband's gonna be happy. They're so warm. When you bite into them, that ooey gooey chocolate from the chocolate chips melts in your mouth. So good. Only time I like milk with cookies, cornbread. Well, you know, I put milk in, well, that's buttermilk. Ugh, I don't drink buttermilk, but I love buttermilk homemade biscuits. So good, guys. I'm not just saying that. So good. Those are delicious, guys. I hope you'll make you some. Listen, I'm gonna go, so I don't have to stop you or pause you or whatever. When those cookies go off, they've got about 3.5 more minutes. I'll be taking those out and letting those cool. I'll let all of them completely cool. For all my new followers, let me show you Mr. Piggy. This is Mr. Piggy. And I try my best to keep him full. And you know what's down in there? One butterscotch cookie. That's all that's left. He's empty. That was perfect timing. So I'll let these completely cool, and then I will fill Mr. Piggy up with chocolate chip cookies, and my honey will have some cookies. My grandbabies will have some cookies. Well, my children can have cookies too if they want them, but you know, the grandbabies know what stays in Mr. Piggy. So, hey, I'm gonna go and take this last batch out when it goes off, and just to tell you, I appreciate you being here with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate your likes and your comments and your shares and your just following my page. If you don't mind, and you like my videos, if you don't mind sharing them with your friends, or sharing my content on your page, that helps to get my page out there so that others can know that I'm here and come and check out my page. So I appreciate all the shares that I get. And listen, before I go, can I just encourage you to bake somebody some cookies and be a blessing? If you know somebody who's struggling during the holiday season, this is a very easy, kind gesture for you just to take somebody some cookies. Be the hands and feet of Jesus and be his mouthpiece and go share his love with the world. Okay? I'll see y'all back again real soon for another great recipe. This is Gigi. Bye, guys. Love y'all.